It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey guys, what's up? You're watching Up and Adam. My name's Adam Knoll. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm the guy bringing you guys all the weekly interviews and recaps from your favorite celebrities and pop culture influencers. But for those of you who do know me, you know that that's not why we're always here, right? Guys, today's one of those days. We are back to pretty much catch you up on everything that's going on in the Erika Girardi, Tom Girardi divorce case, bankruptcy. I mean, this is just, it's a mouthful. So before we get started, you know how this works. If you haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss anything we have coming up. And yeah, let's jump right in. All right, guys. So we have been following the Erika Girardi, Tom Girardi divorce situation for a while now, right? It's been all the way back in November when Erika first filed, and everyone was asking, which we talked about, why did she file? What exactly was going on in that marriage, and why now? Was it infidelity? Well, she did go ahead and put the judge on blast who he was allegedly cheating with. Well, it's not even alleged. Her attorney came forward and confirmed it. But then also we wanted to know, was it infidelity on Erika's part? But then everyone was alluding to the fact that it could be Gleb Sajinko or Scooter Braun, but it still makes you a little weary. And then also everyone was wondering, is there something bigger here? Could they potentially be doing this divorce as some sort of alleged sham where they're trying to move assets around? And that way when they get sued, because obviously somebody knew these lawsuits were coming, they wouldn't completely lose everything that they have. Now, guys, we do know that as of recently, Mr. Girardi's brother came forward requesting from the judge that he be granted as his guardian, as his brother's guardian. That way he can help him make decisions about how to move forward with this legal drama and his assets, etc., and so forth, right? Well, again, guys, Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Erika Jayne, Erika Girardi, Erika Chahoy, whatever you want to call her, she's been dragged into another one of her soon-to-be ex-husband's lawsuits. But before we jump into that, let's talk about the fact that the judge has now made Mr. Girardi file Chapter 7 bankruptcy. That's right, guys. He's been forced into a Chapter 7 bankruptcy as bankruptcy court demands him to turn over his assets, a full list of his assets, in pretty much a liquidation sort of scenario. So, of course, I always like to cite our sources, and this came from Ronald Richards, who has been tweeting this super closely. He's also an attorney himself. He's been kind of giving us the legal jibber jabber that a lot of us don't understand, but we're trying to dissect it. And we're also trying to get Ronald Richards on our channel. But in the meantime, what he said was that after Mr. Girardi's brother attempted to take over guardianship, the bankruptcy court pretty much denied it and is now forcing him into a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Not just Mr. Girardi, though, but also his firm. And now what they're saying is that he has 14 days from this decision to go ahead and turn over a full list of assets, or he can be held in contempt. Now, what Ronald Richards is saying is that the two court-appointed trustees are now able to go through and comb through the assets and figure out exactly what is where and how to divvy them up in order to pay for all of these unsettled debts. Not only does Mr. Girardi have to turn over the full list of assets for the bankruptcy estate, but also Erika is going to have to come forward too with a list. And what they're saying is it better be on point. They have to list all of their assets. That way they know, the bankruptcy court knows what to take, what to liquidate, and I guess if there's anything left, what they can keep. Ronald Richards also went on to pretty much let us know on his Twitter that I guess that the judge is apparently not buying this whole mental incompetent situation that the brother is trying to sell them on. The brother was claiming, well, Mr. Girardi's brother was claiming to the court that his brother is mentally incompetent, that he doesn't understand what's going on. He doesn't understand how this all went so left. And he also is claiming that because he is mentally incompetent, he does not know where the alleged $2 million that was embezzled, where it went. Again, guys, if you missed the beginning of this video, I said that Erika Girardi has now been dragged into another one of her husband's legal cases, and this time it has to do with a crash, but not a plane crash. And that's right, Judy Selberg, who was a client of Mr. Girardi's husband, passed away in a boating accident at Lake Havasu. is now defending an attempt by Girardi to move her case into arbitration. Ronald Richards said that she's claiming that she was only paid $50,000 out of the $500,000 that she was awarded. And also now she's naming someone else in the case, and she named Jayne Girardi, who Ronald Richards is alluding to the fact that that is most likely Erika Jayne. Erika Girardi, Erika Chahoy, whatever you want to call her. Ronald also went on to reveal that an attorney named Alexa Galloway had also been named in the lawsuit, and said John Girardi, who is another brother of Mr. Girardi's, signed a substitution for Tom. That way Alexa would be able to get her own legal representation. Now, again, guys, I know what you're thinking. What does all of this mean? And that's why we're going to have to get Ronald Richards on here. But there are so many questions. The fact that it went from involuntary bankruptcy that they were trying to, I guess, navigate to a complete full-on Chapter 7 bankruptcy is intense. Now the fact that they have to give over all of the list of all of the assets that they own, everyone's questioning, does that mean you're going to lose your cars, your clothes, your homes, your private jet, and everything in between? Exactly how much is it that the Girardis could possibly own? But that's something we're going to have to wait to see how that plays out in court. What people really want to know, though, again, I always say this, and I want to know from you guys. Most of the time, though, you guys let me know that you don't want to see another season with Erika Girardi on it now, especially because if they were allegedly embezzling funds and taking funds from victims who were widows and orphans and just families who were left behind with not much after they lost their loved ones, if in fact this is all true and it can be proven in court, people are coming forward saying they do not want to watch Erika Jayne on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Unfortunately, even though Erika Jayne asked for her privacy, that's not exactly what's happening anymore. As you guys can tell, she's been in every single blog, and people are closely following these cases. I would say this case, but it's now turned into these cases, and Erika's name has been brought into a few of these legal situations, not only naming her as secretary of one of the businesses, maybe even a couple, allegedly, I don't know verbatim, but we covered that. But her name was listed as a secretary on one of the businesses, and now other victims are now tying her into their legal matters, which means Erika, until she's divorced, and maybe even after she's divorced, is going to be tied into all of this because she's married to Mr. Girardi. Another point I want to make is that most of the fans don't believe that Erika had nothing to do or had no knowledge of anything that was going on. I think based off of the comments and reading the blogs and reading how people, fans, Bravo super fans, are responding to all of this, they feel like there's no way that Erika was spending $40,000 plus on glam, flying private, doing whatever she wanted, paying for these expensive music videos without having some sort of knowledge that he was in fact doing something that most likely was not legal, right? Guys, I'm not defending anybody, and I know you guys always say that it's so annoying you defend the Girardis. I'm just waiting to see how this plays out in court. Again, we need to get Ronald Richards on here so he can explain some of this legal jibber jabber that I might not necessarily know, and maybe sometimes you guys don't know either. I don't know. I didn't go to law school, so I just don't necessarily know what all of the terms mean, but I would love for somebody to come on and break it down for me, almost like the Girardi case for dummies. I'll take it. I'll call myself the dummy. I just want to know what's going on. As a super fan of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I feel like we deserve that only because, like Lisa Rinna says, own it. And they have to put their lives out there. We did see, and I do say this a lot too, that Real Housewives of Orange County, Elizabeth Lynn Vargas, was just recently on, and she wouldn't give us any information about her divorce and all of the legalities that were going into that. She just kept saying she couldn't talk about it, but yet that was all she talked about. I also had another viewer who I really appreciate joining me and love so much, Dana, who came on and made a great point. And that point was that was a divorce, and this is public record. Of course, this is all over the board, from alleged embezzlement to tax liens to now bankruptcies and so many other different things that are going on. We'll just have to wait and see if it's talked about on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Lisa Rinna did say, yes, they will have to talk about it. But other than that, what else could we really have to look forward to from this next season? Is it Lisa Rinna doing her launch for Rinna Beauty? Is it Dorit? Because Dorit had some alleged legal problems too. I don't really know what we could be looking forward to from Garcelle, aside from the fact that she is now on a talk show and she just filmed Coming to America 2, which is exciting, but is that a storyline? And then we have our newest housewife, Crystal, along with the friend of Kathy Hilton, Kathy Hilton obviously is going to be coming in with a bang, and she's probably the most anticipated friend of in housewife history. Everyone thinks that there's going to be a huge kind of blow up between Kyle Richards and Kathy Hilton, but all of their photos from their trips and their body language say absolutely otherwise. So again, this is one of those things that we're just going to have to wait for the trailer, keep our ears open and keep our eyes peeled, see what happens and see what we get from it. Otherwise, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and comment below. Let me know what you think the main storyline is going to be for this season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Yeah, I guess just don't rip me apart. Just give me your thoughts. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Check us out every Monday and Wednesday. Thanks for watching Up and Adam.